Hey there, folks. Daryl Prell here, and we're going to have another session of Enough Bad Advice. Hashtag Enough Bad Advice. These quick and dirty hits where we talk about common mistakes that you've been told you should do, and we're going to tell you they're wrong. Who's our expert? Let me introduce you to Michael Bodone of Sales Buzz. What I love about Michael is he always tells it like it is. It's unvarnished, but that's what you need to know so you will stop making those mistakes. Michael, today's conversation is the either or close. In other words, we try to move the appointment on to the next appointment. We say, shall I call you either Tuesday or Thursday? You contend that is bad advice. What should I do?
Yeah, well, the whole goal is to get the conversation and continue the conversation, right? So you're not closing them on that call. So you're feeling compelled, you're feeling the sense of urgency that you want to get that next step going. And so somewhere along the line, you were taught to go ahead and say, well, should I call you Tuesday or Thursday? So what it really does is it puts pressure on the prospect. The other thing too is you're taking a shot in the dark. You don't know their schedule, right? And the reason why people were taught to go ahead and take and stay in tight control is because if they just left it up to the sales or the prospect, they would be afraid of the answer they got back. However, I learned a long time ago that the best way to stay in control is to give it away, or at least give the appearance that we're giving it away. So when I'm wrapping up a sales call and I'm not closing them on that specific step right there, instead of going, well, how about I follow up with you next week? Is next Tuesday or Thursday good for you? I simply ask, okay, well, let me ask you a question. Where do we go from here? When should we speak next? And now this puts a lot of fear. See, but here's the thing, though, Darryl. This puts a lot of fear. When a salesperson hears that for the first time, it's like their heart almost stops. They're like, oh my God, I don't want to do that because they're going to say, well, don't call. I'll call you when I'm interested, right? And that's the number one fear you're going to hear when you hear that kind of advice. But the problem is this: if your prospect truly feels that way, by you going, hey, how about I call you next Tuesday or Thursday, which is better for you? Guess what? They're still feeling in that way. You just didn't bring it out of them, right? And that's why you have a high no-show rate when you call them on that Tuesday or Thursday or whatever they said. They're like, yeah, sure, that's fine. And then you call them, and next thing you know, they're not answering the phone. They're not returning your voicemails. They're not answering your emails. And you thought you had a deal in the works, and now it's not. I'd much rather know early on, while I have them on the phone, if there's a problem. So if I'm getting ready to wrap up a call and the deal is not going to be closing right then and there, I have a very specific process that I go through. But one of those questions is, where do we go from here? When should we speak next? One, it takes the pressure off the situation. The prospect feels they're in control. I'm actually in control because I'm about to expose their level of their interest level, and if there's any red flags I need to be worried about. If they go, actually, you know what? Today's Wednesday. Why don't you give me a call next week? I'll go, great. Do you want to pick a time? You just want to play it by ear, right? And I follow their lead. They pick a time, play it by ear. Either way, next thing you know, I'm having a much higher conversion rate because it was their idea of when the call. And if there was a problem, I found out about it and exposed it while I still had them on the phone, rather than letting them off and then me thinking I have a deal and yet the fish swam away. Right, I'm just using a little fishing analogy. So I told you I'm fishing more, right? So, but that's the scenario there.
I love it. So if you're guilty of the either or approach and then you're wondering why they never call you back, you've lost control of the deal. Even though you've gone to your boss and said, this one's looking really good, Michael has told you what's going on and he's giving you the answer. If you like what Michael has to say, check him out at salesbuzz.com. But if you want to have the world's best, most prolific sales engagement platform, go to vanillasoft.com. I'm Daryl Prale. He's Michael Bodone, and that's another episode of Enough Bad Advice.